This is a pilot episode of the Creative Genesis podcast.
You are listening to the Creative Genesis podcast by Winfluence Media, the show that speaks to professionals in the creative field and entrepreneurs, asking them how they got started so that you too can begin your own journey. If you're looking to step up your journey as a creative or entrepreneur, then you are in the right place. So stay tuned and follow the Creative Genesis podcast, the stepping stone to your success. A person who had a perfect life can never relate to somebody who's not.
True.
But when you struggle, when you go through things, you are able to empathize because you've been through that yourself.
Hello and welcome. You are tuned into the Creative Genesis podcast with your co-host Punita Gupta. Today I interviewed the founder of Winfluence Media and the host of the Creative Genesis podcast, Adrian Lobo. If you're considering of taking a big step or trying something on your own, then watch this podcast because Ryan shares how he began in the field in which he had no prior knowledge. He shares his struggles, his fears, his inspiration so that you too can start your own journey. Before we get into this candid and information-packed conversation with Adrian Lobo, a short word from our sponsors.
Do you want to invest in the future of a child? Well, let me tell you about Shaddai Charitable Trust. Shaddai Charitable Trust is an organization which rescues street children and destitute children who have come from really poor backgrounds, really bad backgrounds. Some of their parents are alcoholics or single parents. Some of them don't have parents. Some of them have been raised on the street. This is an amazing organization that I have had the privilege of getting to know through the founders, Matthew Kurian, his wife, Julia, and just being with them. In fact, Abhishek is right here. He's grown there. And the organization has done such amazing work in the life of children and women. But they focus on children. You know, if you want to become a sponsor, you can help invest in the life of a child who has no other hope. They come from very bad backgrounds, but you can be in touch with them. You can invest in their future, in their education. Check out childrescue.net. That's their website. Get to know them, follow them on Instagram. Amazing charity based in Goa. It's an amazing NGO. I highly recommend them. Do something for society. Childrescue.net. Check them out.
Now let's get back to the show. We have the founder of Winfluence Media and the host of the Creative Genesis podcast, Adrian Lobo, in conversation with me. So let's dive into it. No, I was doing this and...
So finally we're here, Punita.
I know, right?
I gave Punita the challenge of, hey, we need a host for this podcast. And she was like, no, I've never been in front of a camera. And
I never would have.
yeah, so it took, I think, a week's time for me to inspire you.
Yeah.
And she's finally here. She's the host of the Creative Genesis podcast. Or should I say the co-host?
Whatever you say.
Just because I'm the boss, whatever I say.
That's how it works.
So, Punita.
Yes.
Now you talk. Like I am just the simple interviewee. You are the interviewer. So I'm here to drink my chai and talk with Punita.
So let's start.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Like we finally doing this,
This has been something that is supposed to be happening months ago. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think everything happens at the right time, but we've been planning this for months and I'm super excited to finally be here. And I think, one issue I had is that I believe it's more powerful if we have a co-host. So I'm really glad you're on board. And Punita is part of the team. She's the head of post-production. So it's great to have you here, Punita. I'm glad you took the challenge.
I know. Let's see.
Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Nothing to fear. It's just a
Right.
camera. You work with it every day.
I know, but sitting in front of it is completely different, But
That's true.
I think I'm quite comfortable.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. I mean, see, we know each other for so long. So
Yeah,
you're
true.
not you're not interviewing some stranger.
Right.
But when the podcast actually start, I'll be interviewing people that I don't really know that well.
Exactly.
So
But I think you can do well Come on.
Yeah, by the way, we've already recorded 2 podcasts. They're going to be podcast number -2 and -1.
Yeah.
So it's the pre Creative Genesis era. Yep.
True. So I have to ask you this question for our viewers, Suppose I never met you. I'd never known you. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You're doing well.
Okay. I have to ask... okay, sorry.
See, we're going to keep all of this in, okay? So don't worry about it. There's no perfect take. It's just a podcast. We're just talking, having fun.
Okay, I'll start. I have to ask this question for our viewers. Suppose I never met you before. Who are you?
Oh, that's a good question. So, my name is Adrian Lobo. I'm currently living in Goa. Born and brought up in Bombay, but then we traveled all over the place because my dad was in the oil field.
Wow.
So we've been to Qatar, I was working in Saudi. I studied a little bit in St. Petersburg, Russia.
That's nice.
I've changed 9 different educational institutions. So I haven't been at one place for too long. Currently, I've been in Goa for the past 6 years, and I think that's the longest I've ever been somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've known you for so long now, and I never knew this.
Yep. So I think we moved to Qatar when I was in the 5th standard. So probably it is not the longest, but it's the longest that at a point where I remember things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a wife and 2 wonderful children. I'm blessed with that. We run Vinfluence Media.
Yes.
And this is another arm of it right now. The Creative Genesis podcast is what we've called this. So I'm an engineer, for those of you who don't know, mechanical engineer. Wasn't the greatest, most brilliant engineer, but some small thing that I'm proud of. In my 10th standard, I got 69.5%. Okay. In my 12th standard, I got 70.2%.
Wow.
In my engineering graduation, I got a CGPA of 7.2. So I've made small, minute improvements.
But somewhere.
Yeah. So I mean, so I believe life has to be minuscule improvements. You don't have to make fantastic, huge improvements.
True.
But I was blessed with a great job after that. I graduated, and even though I got a campus placement, so I got this job in an engineering company in Bangalore. And we were supposed to, start working with them, but they kept on delaying us. And in the meantime, I tried for another job. And my father at the time was working in Halliburton, Saudi Arabia. Halliburton's like this massive company. In fact, as a child, when my dad was working for Qatar Petroleum, I was cycling with whether either alone or with my friends, and I saw this beautiful red board, Halliburton. And I said to myself, wow, I'd love to work there one day. Oh. So after I graduated from engineering, my dad was working there, and he asked his boss, and his boss asked me if I'm done engineering, and I said yes, and I sent my CV and stuff like that. And I actually landed a job at Halliburton.
Wow.
I've always wanted to work in the oil field, And
dream come true.
Yeah, exactly. That was really amazing for me. And I was working with my dad. We were like in the same office. And that is very rare. We were not allowed to go on jobs together, though. We were not allowed to go to the rigs together. Because my boss, Tony, he said, I don't want to call your mother and say that I got 2 coffins for you. So, it is a dangerous place. I mean, the oil field is not very safe. Oh. So he's like, I'm not going to send you on jobs together. But that's fine. I mean, we actually hung out in the office. And after the office, we'd go to the hotel or a villa or whatever. And I think for the first time in my life, I started to get to know my dad. Like we've always been separated most of our lives. He's been working abroad. Except for that short stint where we joined him in Qatar. But most of my life, I didn't really know him. And that's the first time I really got to know him. So we started growing closer together, and I started understanding how difficult it is being in the oil field, you know. So in short, who is Ryan? Is difficult to say, but I'm a man who believes that small changes in life and small improvements is the way to go.
Makes sense. Totally.
Yeah. I wish I could be a multimillionaire overnight, but not gonna happen.
Yeah. Takes hard work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So why did you leave Halliburton?
Well, I was
I
making
mean-
a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I was working on a 60-30 rotation. So, you know, it's 60 days off. And by the way, Abhishek is sitting over there for those who can't see. He's there and he may pipe in whenever he'd like to. I was working on a 60-30 rotation. So 60 days in Saudi and 30 days wherever I want to be. And making a lot of money, like for someone who just graduated, like at the age of 24, 25, I was making like 2 to 4 lakhs a month. And that was
Wow.
a lot of money. Like
a lot of
I
money.
knew for a fact that I was earning way more than all of my classmates and batchmates.
Yes.
So it was amazing, and I loved it. I was a completion engineer. So we are the guys who go to the well site, and only after we successfully do our job can the well produce hydrocarbons, whether it be oil or gas.
Oh.
So we were like, when we were there, like we were in charge, so it was cool. It's not a very difficult job, but it's a very essential job. Like there are way more tougher professions in the oil field, like logging and stuff. That's insane. Like I'd never want to do that. But so completions is what I was doing. And
I didn't understand half of it. Still, the
So,
audience may.
which part did you not understand?
Completion.
Completions, yeah. So we were called completion engineers.
Mm-hmm.
And our job was to complete the well.
Okay.
So our job is to seal the space between the. So there are 2 straws basically that go into the earth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first straw is called the piping.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cement straw.
Okay.
Okay. And the straw which sucks out the oil is called the tubing.
Okay.
The tubing has a much thinner diameter. So if the piping is this thick, the tubing will be this thick.
Okay.
Okay. So we would put in the tubing,
Mm-hmm.
and we would put in safety valves and packers and stuff that would seal the gap between the cement tubing,
And the.
the cement piping
Mm-hmm.
and the tubing. So oil should only come up through the tubing.
Oh.
So we were called completion engineers.
Wow.
And we'd have to seal the wellhead and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a great job. You work with a lot of foreigners, like people from all over the country, and we had a lot of Saudis. We had a lot of Scottish, American, people from like former USSR countries.
Mm-hmm.
My boss Tony was an American,
Nice.
and so you are exposed to a lot of different cultures, and the safety training at Halliburton was amazing. So I started working there. Started in the workshop. That's where we would assemble all the equipment that would go to the field, and then slowly I graduated to handling the entire workshop. So I was in charge of making sure everything is on paper, done well, packed well, tested, stuff like that. I'd run the
Nice.
torque machine. So a torque machine basically, it turns the pipes until the exact limit that you set it to.
Oh.
So there is a certain process to doing that. So we'd run it's called a Weatherford torque machine. That's the one I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally my boss said, I'd like to send you on the field. So on the field means to an oil rig. And
Okay.
I was going on land jobs. So I'd go to the oil rig in the desert. Okay.
Oh.
So there are offshore oil rigs as well, for which you need to travel in a helicopter or a boat.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've actually done this training called HUET. It's called Helicopter Underwater Escape Training. Okay. So they take you to a massive pool, and they would suspend like a metal chassis of a helicopter. Well, it's not really a helicopter. It's just the chassis. It's just a box. And you sit sit in your seats like this, and you put your life vest on, and you strap yourself in, and then they dunk the entire chassis underwater, and when it's underwater, they flip it around.
Wow.
They turn it upside down, and you're supposed to then escape.
Crazy.
So it was fun. It was fun. I mean,
it's like task.
yeah, it's a life and death kind of task. I was scared, you know.
That's true.
Underwater, strapped in, and then you got to escape through the window.
Wow.
But I'm imagining that in a real helicopter, I've never been in one yet. There are windows which you may have to break. I don't know how it works. So it was scary, but I did it. It was fun. Actually, after doing it, I wanted to ask them, can I do it again? Because, yeah, it's nice.
That's cool.
So,
really cool.
so I started going on the field and started, first I started with my seniors, like the guys who are used to doing these jobs. So the senior operators, they taught me how to do it. Then I started running a few myself.
Oh.
And, but while I was there, even though I was making a lot of money, I found life very empty for some reason. Not fulfilling, you know. Like, yes, I had the money, I had a good job, but I found it unfulfilling, and I fell in love with my wife at that point, and that's a whole different other story for another podcast maybe.
Sure.
And I just couldn't stay away from her. Like, you know, I would come back to India for like 30 days, spend every day with her.
Oh.
And then going back would be torture.
Oh.
You know, I remember she dropped me at Mapsa bus stand, and I was taking a bus to Bombay to catch my flight. And like people were staring at us because they could see how much we are like
in love.
Yeah. And then while being in Saudi, even though like we would do like calls and video calls, I don't know, but like I just missed her too much. And then I realized like what my dad has done all these years, like leaving his wife and his kids, like I'm not cut out for that. I just couldn't do it. You know, I don't know how he's done it. It's taken a huge toll on him.
Yes.
But because of his sacrifice and my mom's, you know, my mom raised us without his help. You know, it's really difficult. And I knew I didn't want Eustacia to do that. I knew I didn't want to leave her and the kids behind. So, so then it came time where I introduced both our families together. And I'm happy to say, like, I know Eustacia since the age of 6 and her family since the age of 6. So our families knew each other for a long time. But after I started dating her, I said, you know, I'd like to, you know, officially introduce the families, like go out for dinner. So we went to Panjim, both of the families came. And we were having a nice time. There was karaoke, and my father-in-law is a crazy good singer. Amazing.
I know.
He's like, yeah, Elvis
True.
Presley, like really good. I hope that I can motivate him to come out with an album of his own. That'd be amazing. But anyway, and then we were sitting and having dinner, and like my siblings and her siblings, our parents, and suddenly he asks out of the blue, so when you getting married?
Who asks this?
San.
Okay.
And it hit me like, what? I've just started dating now, man. What are you talking about? You know, I thought that, okay, I'd buy my own flat or something, you know, buy my own house, and only then I'd get married. And I was, 25 at that time.
Oh.
So I said soon or something. I don't know what I said. But like, I remember the faces on my siblings. They were like, you know, because like who talks about marriage so soon? But I had this desire to get married, you know, and I respect the institution of marriage. I did not want to just fool around and you know, so it was something that even though it was shocking to me, I think I wanted to do it. I wanted to get married. And then, you know, months later we're talking, and then I had to consider what we do after marriage, like, because I'm working in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And 60 days away, like if I would be only spending like 4 months with my family if I was working there, you know. 4 months in a year is like nothing, man.
True.
You know, my boss would definitely give me like a better rotation, so 30-30 or 28. But still 6 months away from the family, you know.
Difficult.
Yeah, like you're a 50% dad. So it was a very difficult decision, but my father-in-law gave me this verse from the Bible, and he kept on encouraging me that, you know, man should not separate from his wife. And I was praying about it, and then finally it was time for me to make my decision, because the marriage was approaching. We had gotten engaged. It was time to get married, and I think the last trip to Saudi before getting married, I went on a fast for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And where you don't eat, I would just drink water. And I'm out in the desert, like it's like the most boring place to be. There's nothing, like there's just dirty, oily sand and, you know, the oil rig and these porta cabins, and the food's not great anyway, so it wasn't that tough. But still, like I'm working, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Like you got to climb up the rig, which is like, you got to climb up a lot of
You
steps.
need
It's
energy.
hard work, yeah. But still, I was fasting, and I really wanted to know from God whether I should do this, you know. So I fasted 3 days, and on the last day, I believe, I was listening to some music, like some worship music. And this song came on called Oceans.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to that song, it says, do not look at the waves, look above.
True.
You know, like if you look at the waves, you'll start sinking.
Yeah.
But if you look to God, He will provide. And I got to say, that song, that was it for me. Like, I knew God was speaking, you know, and I said, okay, God, I know you're going to be there with me. And I think over there I made up my mind that I'm going to quit.
Oh.
And I'll be honest, till date, I've never sunk. I've been close to sinking,
No.
but I've never sunk. You know, God's provided all our needs. But anyway,
Yes.
so that's what I think, that's my desire, that I would not be away from the family. And that's why I quit that job. Yeah.
Wonderful story.
Thank you.
But how did you get into video production? Like,
Okay. Want some?
No, I'm good. Okay, we'll start again with my question.
Go ahead.
So how did you start with video production? How you got interested in it?
So that's another story from Saudi.
Oh.
This was just before our engagement. I had to go to the Saudi embassy to renew my passport. So I went with this local Saudi boy. He was a workshop guy. And he took me in his car. And he had this, I think, Chevrolet Sabre. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember the model. But he had souped it up. Like, the engine was overhauled. He said it was making in excess of, or I don't know whether like in excess of 1,000 horsepower. It may be 2,000. I don't remember. But we're on this massive highway, and he asked me, you want to see how fast it goes? So I said, sure. I had my seatbelt on and stuff. And we were at probably 60 miles an hour at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And within what seemed like 5 seconds, he hit the pedal to the metal. And we reached 240 miles an hour. I don't know if these numbers are right also, but it was really, really fast.
Wow.
It had that much power. It like was souped up like nuts. Like I've never ever been in a car that's so fast. From
Crazy.
outside, the car looked like really like nothing great, you know, not a great paint job. I remember it was brown, silverish.
Mm-hmm.
No fancy rims, nothing. It didn't look like a racer car. But man, wow, that was crazy. But then after like probably 10, 15 or 1 minute, I said, okay, slow down now. Enough, you know, enough. Like safety is something that
Comes first.
Yeah. So then we slowed down. I got my work done in the city and was coming back to the yard. And so right before the yard, there's a right-hand turn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we take that, and for some reason, this guy, he wants to drift. So he again hit the pedal to the metal, but this time there was a lot of gravel on the road, loose gravel and like stones and stuff. He lost control.
Oh.
So I looked at him while he lost control, and he's like,
I can imagine that, like in movies.
And, yeah. And there was a trailer parked to the right of the road, to the left of the road. So like, this is the car, right? And cars in Saudi are right wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sitting on the left.
Yeah.
The trailer is here. Okay. Like that. This guy, he comes like that. He loses control and he smashes on my side.
Shit.
He smashed on my side. All right. The corner of the trailer, solid metal, was probably this much away from me, behind me. My door was jammed, and the impact hit me in my chest, so I couldn't breathe.
Oh, really?
All the glasses broke, and I looked at him. He was all panicked. Oh shit! Something in Arabic. I don't know what. So I couldn't open my door, but I wasn't pinned, So I opened I released my seatbelt. I got out through his side. My glasses had flown somewhere. And only when I was standing out there on the road, I took my first breath. Because it had hit me so badly, I just, I was...
God saved you all, man.
I had not one scratch on my body. Not one scratch. I could have died there.
I know. That's crazy.
The trailer was just this much away from my arm. I mean, we had smashed into it, but if that had come just this much into my side, for sure, I would have lost either my arm or God knows what would have happened. But I had not a single scratch, even though there was glass all over the place. I think the glass is designed to like not scratch or something. I don't know, but not a single scratch. Put my glasses back on. I said, "Are you okay?" And he wrecked his precious car, right? So, "Are you okay?" I said, "What should I do?" And he said, "No." He started making some calls. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna walk to the yard, walk to my office," because it was walking distance, thankfully, right? So I went there immediately. I met with the safety officer. What's up? It's good. So I went to the safety officer and I said, "This is what happened. This needs to be addressed. You cannot drive like that. It's a huge safety issue."
Yeah, he's putting others also in risk.
Exactly. Yeah. And why is he driving a personal vehicle? He should drive a company vehicle. Our company vehicles are all trucks. Okay, they have sensors in them, so if you accelerate too hard, there's a beep. If you brake too hard, there's a beep. It's all recorded on the system. I said, "This is a huge issue. What is happening? You need to deal with this." And he just later, it's okay. He just didn't. He was this Scottish guy, very nice person, but he just took it so lightly. I said, "You this is serious. He's out there. I could have died. You need to take this more seriously." Yeah, it's okay. So I left there, came back to India, and while in India, I don't know when, maybe after I quit, I don't know when, or sometime, this same boy was in another car of his, this time like a smaller, sportier car, like maybe like a Miata or something of that dimension. And this one was also souped up, and he was on the highway speeding, got into an accident. He had a brain injury and he died on the spot.
Oh no.
He died on the spot. And it could have been me, the first time. He died on the spot, and I know his father. His father was he was also working with us, so for me it was, I didn't know how to deal with it. I know this man's father lost his son. Our entire workshop lost a really good guy. But I think after the first incident, I just took my iPad and I recorded a face-to-camera video and I just narrated the incident, right? Because there was something really powerful that happened there. My life was spared.
True.
And I shared it with some friends on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them gave some negative reviews. You should have done this or should have done that. Doesn't matter. But right there, I realized the power of video.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. I can record something just once and I can multiply it 100 million times if I want with no extra effort of my own. All I need to do is share a link. That's the power of video. And that's what I want to give to all my clients. But that's not how I got into video.
So guys, we are here after a short break. So
Yep.
so you never depend on technology.
Yeah, our iPad died.
in
And
between.
then by mistake I put the audio recorder off. So I got to record a bit again.
Yeah.
So where were we, Punita?
So I was asking you about how did you get into video production?
Yes, so as I said, that incident happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now let's come to after I quit my job. After I quit my job, I was looking for an engineering job.
Mm-hmm.
I found one. I was offered an offer letter, but it was all the way in Margao. So I had to leave North Goa and move to Margao, which I didn't want to do that.
Very far,
it was like my church is here, my family is here, my grandmom is here. I don't want to leave North Goa and move all the way to Margao. I mean, I'm brand new to Goa.
Yeah.
I don't want to move from a new place to a newer place, So I didn't take that up. I tried many small things. I was working with my father-in-law for a while in his music shop. Then I worked for 1 month for my dad, to be his go-to man while he was working. He was still working in Saudi, but at that time.
Really?
Yeah. He had a tough time, He's like, your son is what did they call him? They said your son got it easy, that's why he quit this job. Because he had to face them, right? He had to face his boss and they were all shocked that I left. Because I didn't know this, but they were about to give me a promotion.
Oh.
So he was a little upset about it that I left. But initially I told him I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's a good thing. Family is more important than money.
He understood.
He understood. But then he changed his mind.
Maybe people did.
Yeah, maybe. So he had to face them. He had to face all my colleagues, stuff like that. So it wasn't so nice for him. But where was I? Yeah, so I quit my job. I was trying small things. I was trying to do, set up an Airbnb because my dad has some properties. It wasn't really consistent. I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then my pastor said, hey, I got this small camera, and I have the camera right here. It's like this small handy camera. And he's like, why don't you?
How old is that?
It's I think 10 years old. I don't even know.
Wow.
But it's nice. It's cool. In fact, I was planning on using it again because it still works.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, why don't you record face to camera of me talking to the camera? Because, he preaches, so sharing some message. So I did that. And to do that, I had to study about it, how to set the exposure and all these things. So I went on YouTube and I started learning. Then in post-production, I had to spend so much time learning stuff. I had to learn new softwares. I had to learn a lot of stuff. And I was so foolish. I was trying to edit the audio waveform by waveform because he has a very dynamic voice. So he goes really soft sometimes and then really loud sometimes. So wherever he was loud, I would reduce it. Wherever he was soft, I would increase it. And as you can tell, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So the work never got completed because it was just way too tedious. So I never ended up giving him anything out of it.
How long was the video?
It was 45 minutes. So imagine doing it
manually
frame by frame. It's not happening. I didn't know you could do compression and stuff like that. So I didn't know that. Now I do. So anyway, but I got so interested in that whole process about, learning something. And I always like to learn. Learning about cameras, about post-production, production. I said, why don't I buy my own camera?
Right.
So I went and I asked my grandmom, I need some money. Because at that time, I didn't have a lot of money. Even though I earned a lot, the wedding just got over. Then I invested some in the flat and stuff. So I didn't have a lot of money. So she loaned me an amount and I bought my first camera and I'm so grateful to her, God bless our
I
grandparents.
know.
And I only ended up paying her 20,000 of that loan amount.
How much was the camera
It was like
costing?
about, the bill came to 1,05,000 for the camera body. I bought the Canon 80D with the
Oh.
kit lens, 50 lens. Yeah, I think these three things came to 1,05,000.
Mm-hmm.
And but then I started video production, and I really liked it. You know, producing video. I was never really a filmmaker per se.
Mm-hmm.
Filmmaking is a whole different thing, like narrative filmmaking.
True.
It's like a whole different beast. But I started handling the social media for my in-laws' music school.
Mm-hmm.
Started doing video production for them, shooting children, like, you know, playing recitals, piano and guitar or whatever. So I started doing that, and that's how I got into video production. And in the meantime, I also became a drone pilot
Mm-hmm.
for one company in Panjim.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a retainer with them, but yeah, that's how I really fell in love with video production. You know,
Cool.
I think videos are so powerful.
True. Very
And
much. It's
they have-
ruling now.
Yeah, it rules now, right? So
Right.
I was, so before like people figured out that video is so awesome, I figured it out. I'm just boasting, but anyway.
Yeah, you could say that.
I started off with video production, then I started doing a little bit photography,
Mm-hmm.
but my mainstay is video production. So I'm glad that I started with that, and currently I specialize in that.
Mm-hmm.
And specialize with, you know, say social media plus that. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to learn. In the meantime, I shot weddings. I did a lot of stuff, and I enjoyed it.
Exposure.
Yeah, like
Good
I think
exposure.
everyone has to try their hand
Yeah. True.
at a lot of things. So
True.
yeah.
Good. So moving on, tell us what's your niche. In which area would you say you specialize?
So for sure, I specialize in video production.
Mhm.
But what I want to be is I want to be the guy that business people go to get their businesses a lot of video content online. You know,
Mhm.
I want to work with business people, with entrepreneurs, with startups
Mm-hmm.
for all of their media production, whether it be photography, video, handling their social media. I believe that is where I want to be. I love working with business people because in the end I am one myself.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
I just recently completely stopped weddings. I was into weddings before. I
Mhm.
completely cut out. I said, I don't like doing this. I just don't enjoy it. So I, in fact, called my friend up also. He's a colleague of mine from South Goa, quite a big wedding photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And he had asked if I would expose, like shoot for him in December. I mean, in the next upcoming season. So I called him up. He's like, I won't be available, you know, so I'm just telling you up front, I'm not going to be there. So if you have weddings, please, you know, get your other guys to do it. So he
So-
asked me why, and yeah, you were saying?
So you completely cut it off.
Completely. Like, I don't enjoy doing that.
Mm-hmm. And what are the reasons?
Actually, you are a big reason, Punita.
Cut it out.
No, you're not a big reason.
Oh God. I'm just.
She was pushing for it. You asked the wrong question. So no, I'll tell you, you're not a big reason.
Wait.
A small part.
Shit.
So, I've been shooting weddings for 4-5 years, and it's so easy to get into weddings, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off with, flying drones for weddings, because when I was working with that drone company, I would be hired as a drone pilot for weddings.
Oh.
So that's where I met a lot of these guys into that field.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought the 80D, right? And I said, I can shoot video as well, because I loved cinematography. So that then I bought a gimbal, right? And the 80D wasn't that great, so I bought a GH5 and I started doing cinematography. They call it cinematography, but it's not really cinematography. So then I started shooting for my own clients, where they would hire me. I would not just be a freelancer shooting for someone else. Like, they would hire me to shoot the video. So I started off with doing just the video, you know. There would be a photographer taking care of the photography, and I would be taking care of the entire video production. So it was cool. It was fun. You know, you learned a lot. Multi-camera, working with 2 cinematographers, 1 drone pilot. It was fun. Then I continued doing it. It wasn't a very large part of the income and the business, but it was what can I say? It was because in the end I had begun with video production.
Right.
So that was my mainstay. Like, I would work with hotels or business people or whatever. So then one day I was at a shoot in Panjim. I was on a yacht shooting one couple, and I get a call, get a message. I don't pick it up. And then I'm like, Punita is like, oh, why are you doing this? But so I don't pick it up. Then I say, did you see what happened on WhatsApp? Did you see what happened on Instagram? I said, no. And go to find out, my great editor.
No, you're not
No.
putting out the story.
Okay. So you had uploaded a file by mistake, thinking it's mine, right?
Yeah.
So there are these really famous wedding photographers, okay? So they posted a story about me stealing their work, okay? They wrote something so pathetic. They said, look at the character of this man. Some shit like that. You know, they what can I say? They attacked my character.
True.
Saying that, you know, look at the character of this guy. He's stealing our work and promoting himself as a wedding filmmaker, right? But if you go to see that video, and that's where I told you, attention to the detail is so important. If you go and saw that video which you uploaded, it's clearly mentioned over there, their name at the end, right? It's not like we modified the video,
Right.
put our own logo on. I mean, so this guy said, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to make sure you pay for this, shit like that. All right. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, man, really, it's a mistake. And you immediately removed it, right? As soon as that happened. And I said, it's a mistake. You know, it's not like but the way they took it was like, you know, I'm trying to steal their stuff and get their clients. And why would I do that? I told the guy, we are in the same city.
Yeah.
We are on 2 WhatsApp groups together of photographers. I would have to be the most dim-witted person on the earth to steal your work, make sure that video has your name on it, and claim it to be mine.
I know.
How can this be intentional? How can this be that I'm trying to steal? It's a simple mistake, and it was taken off immediately. You are ridiculous. I didn't tell him that, obviously, because he was threatening to sue me. But finally, his partner, who's a very sensible person, I would say, he finally put out a note saying that, hey, it was all a mistake. But you know, that small thing, I think I did not feel the effects of it until much later. Then I continued with my weddings and whatever. Continued working as a freelancer until I went to one wedding and they were actually talking about this incident. And the topic was me, you know. And then I figured out that, man, this must be like a big thing in the industry, you know, where people actually, what can I say, talk about it and then say Ryan, gossip, right? And say Ryan tried to steal these guys' work. And I realized I stopped getting calls to be a freelancer as much. And this was like during the end of the year. But apart from that, like, even I was really not happy with how the business was going. There were a lot of things on my mind which I felt were not happening, you know. So it was quite a low time anyway. And so I was like, really, like, this is not good, you know. Why is this happening? It's not good. I'm not getting as many calls to be a freelancer and stuff like that. But So I went through a low time in like December, Jan. I quit BNI at that time. And BNI is a great platform. But you know, recently I realized this is such, I don't like doing anything with weddings. It's like, till date, I haven't even watched my own traditional video from the wedding, you know. So it's important to do. I respect what they're doing. But if you really go to see it, like I was speaking to this famous photographer in the South who was going to hire me, and I told him I quit. I said, I'm not passionate for it. I don't like doing it. He's like, man, all of us are like that.
Oh.
You know, after a while, we don't feel like doing it anymore, but we just do it, you know. And at least you have taken a decision to not do it.
Not do it, right.
And I said, yeah, I just don't enjoy doing it. Don't enjoy shooting couples. And then I spoke to another guy and he's like, wedding work is donkey work. Okay?
Oh.
You say you charge 1,20,000 for a wedding. First of all, half of it goes to the freelancers, right?
True.
Okay. And he said you spend at least 15 days in the pre-production, production, post-production of that wedding. You know, the back and forth with the clients, the feedback. So if you divide that remaining 60,000 by that many days, you're barely making any money.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
And I realized, yeah, that's so right what he said. So I told him, bro, you and I are going to sit on the podcast and we're going to talk how shit weddings are. But he's like, no, man, I don't want to do that. You know, I may get into weddings in the future. And I said, okay, I'll talk about it. So I don't like working with couples. I'd rather work with business people. I'd rather work with people with, you know, I'm not saying all wedding couples are stupid, but many of them are. Like, honestly, the type of feedback and the type of back and forth you go through is just exhausting. They don't pay on time. They're most of them are just a waste of time. And I don't want to associate myself with such people. And now after that incident, I don't even want to associate myself with that industry, to be honest. So I just don't enjoy it. I love working with business people. And we got this great facility over here that serves their needs. We shoot reels for them. So any business which requires content for their marketing, that's who I want to work with. And that's who I enjoy working with. Because if you go to see, wedding photography and cinematography is all vanity. You know, make me look pretty, make my event look beautiful. It's all about me. But with business, what you're doing is you're helping them sell.
Right.
You know, so they understand the value of it. You know, you're helping them make money.
Yes.
Right? Through our content, we're helping them. For example, I work with a couple of businesses in Goa. And I specialize in the audience getting to know the founder of the business. Right? See, unless you know, suppose, what is this podcast about? This podcast is the pilot episode where the audience is getting to know me, right?
Right.
Now, unless people know me, what my values are, what my character is, the type of person I am, you know, unless they know me, they don't want to work with me.
Yeah.
And most business people, they hide behind their brand name. But I will not work with a brand name. I will work with a person. Like when you recommend someone, you don't say, hey, go to this business, right? You say, go to this guy, he's my friend.
Right.
He's a great guy.
Makes sense.
You know?
True. Yes.
So you recommend people. And what I want to do for business people is I want the public to get to know them. I want them to stop hiding behind their brand name and be on camera and educate. Like, educate the public. There's so much education that needs to be done.
True.
You know, so yeah, I believe that is my niche. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And you've seen it. Like, I think you've seen a transformation from like December where I was like super low and I didn't know.
True.
But now I'm driven. Like, what do you notice? I don't know.
I told you once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're happy, you're enthusiastic, you know, you're active, you're running up and down,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah,
Yeah, and now, I mean, I believe we are growing a great team. You are there. Abhishek's now joined us. So, more pressures on me, but I love doing that. I want to work with people. You know, I love working with you guys. I believe we need to get this operation so well that, you know, it works like a smoothly oiled machine. So, that's what I want to give to businesses. Someone who's reliable. Like just the other day, we met this guy who is into well, I'm not going to say his industry but he said, I worked with this freelancer before and I paid him so much money for so many videos and he did it for that much, but he's not consistent. The post production takes too long. He's not in touch. I said, of course he's not in touch. He makes way more money doing something else than working for you. You know? And the amount of time he can just go as a photographer, charge 8,000 or something. Within like 1 or 2 hours, he's done. But working with you, he has to spend so much time in post production, so much time in production. Why would he want to work with you? But us, we got SOPs in place just to work with such people. We got this setup down to like, I love this place, you know?
Yes.
We got a freaking crazy setup over here. And the post-production is smooth.
True.
We can churn out 20 videos in like a day or two, which would take like a freelancer maybe a week or two, you know. So that is the importance of specialization. We specialize in this.
Right.
And this place is just great enough for like, for now there's like a 2-person interview, but it's all you need, you know. It's quiet. We're in a quiet location.
A wonderful place.
I love this place.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
peaceful.
I hope we can stay here though. I don't know how long, but God willing, I mean, if God wills, you know, we can get a much bigger team and much bigger place if required.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I want to work with business people, with businesses and business people. Yeah, a mix.
Cool.
A mix. Yep.
So should we go to the next question?
You're the boss, Punita.
So that is, tell us about the journey and how it all started.
I think I did tell you about the journey already.
Okay, let's get it.
Do you want some tea?
You put twice then. Okay. Okay, we'll cut all this, huh?
Yeah. We'll cut it for sure. Next.
Really? I'm editing it.
No, Abhishek's editing it.
I am. Okay. So who was your inspiration and how did this idea strike you? What thought strike you to start a business like this?
Okay, so when I got into this field and I was doing those videos for my pastor, he directed me to a friend of his and someone who he's worked with for a long time. His name is Gasper D'Souza. He's a brilliant guy. So I went and met him in Kalangut, and he's into documentary filmmaking. He's done so many things, you know. He's such a brilliant mind. He's was a writer for a newspaper. Then he became a photojournalist. Then he became the biggest wedding filmmaker in Goa with him and his team.
Wow.
Then he got into documentary filmmaking. Now his next avatar is he's a post-production specialist who does coloring as well. So he works with big documentary films, editing them.
Nice.
Brilliant guy. He's the guy who like told me, okay, where to learn, what to do. Very soft-spoken, Gasper D'Souza, amazing guy. I think he was my inspiration. He's still an inspiration. He's a great guy. So I think he was the guy who like documentary filmmaking, video production. Cool guy.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. But then, you know, like, so many people inspire you. Like Casey Neistat. So many people. Peter McKinnon. Now I'm following this girl called, what's her name? Seema Batavia. Hey, shout out to Seema Batavia. So she's into personal branding, you know, and she's an introvert herself. And it's so cool what she's doing. She's based in India, by the way.
Wow.
So maybe one day we can get her on the podcast in Goa. So let's see.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
So next question is, in your journey to this point in your life, has media, the power of photo, video, articles helped you or promoted you?
Of course, I mean, my whole life is based on that. But like how, I'll tell you what I do. Now, suppose somebody wants to know me, wants to see my presentation. I actually have a video I just send them. So it's a great way to introduce yourself. It's a video of me talking and talking about the benefits of video and stuff like that, showing them my work. So I don't even have to like go out there and spend time with them and impress them. I need to do that to probably close the deal. But I just send them this video and say, hey, get to know me, you know. Like if someone messages me, I don't know whether my WhatsApp messages, my automated reply is that, but if someone messages me, I say, hey, meet me here, and I give them a link, right?
Oh.
And they click on that link and they can see me, and it's me talking about various things, showing them the work I've done. So, you know, it's so powerful in just breaking the ice. And nowadays, since I'm all about, you know, personal branding and letting the public know me, I'm posting a lot like on my WhatsApp statuses and Instagram a bit, more so on WhatsApp. And it's amazing. Like 300 people a day watch, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people who are virtually kind of spying on you. I mean, most of them never reply. But you're making an impact in their life. What is the impact you're making? You're saying that, hey, this is me, this is what I believe in. And I don't post like silly like forwards and stuff like that. I find that who wants to watch that? I'd rather watch you, like who are you as a person?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm posting often and I'm saying this is who I am, this is what I believe in, these are the things I care about. And that's how I build a bond. And you would not believe how powerful that is. Like I go to a shop to buy a phone for my wife. And normally I'm not that close to this guy, and he's busy and stuff. But he's the owner of the shop. But because I've been posting so often, you know, I have like a aura around me. So he's like, hey Ryan, how things going, man? Come over here. You know, he wants to like talk to me. You know, and that's the power of video and the power of being out there in the public.
It's like they already know you.
Yeah, they
That's how
already
you
know
vibe
you.
again,
Yeah, exactly.
you know? And it's all about vibe
Yeah,
nowadays.
exactly.
So, yeah.
And now that you are on this podcast, people are going to know Punita, right? Maybe soon Abhishek also will put another camera just for him, right? You can speak, by the way. So, you know, it's important for the public to know who you are.
Right.
And that is partially part of why we're doing this for this podcast, you know. Them getting to know us, them getting to know the people that we get on this podcast, and just being out there. There's super power in it. There are people who have just called me because they watched what I'm doing on my WhatsApp status or whatever. They're like, hey, we need this done. Can you get this done? I'm like, yeah. You know, it just breaks the ice. It breaks that barrier. And that's what I want to do for all my clients as well. That's what I want to do for my clients. I mean, you know what, like Rohini has said, right? She's like, I've been in this field for the past 10 years, but it's only after I started working with Ryan. It's not really me. It's what we are doing for them. Am I really out there? Are
True.
people getting to know me?
Yes.
You
And
know?
she's doing so well.
Yeah.
She's out there, you know.
She's out there. People know her.
Yes.
Rohini Gonzalez of Sevarat. Check it out. Sevarat, India on Instagram.
Yes.
You know, she's out there. Her face is out there. Like her personality is out there. The barriers that people had to getting her are being reduced just because she's out there. And that's the type of businesses that I want to work with. If you want to be out there, get in touch with us.
Yes, that's true. So, next question. What are some hurdles you faced which helped you reach towards this place, you know, what you are now?
I believe hurdles are great.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like, even though like I grew up hating the things that I grew up with, I believe, like, remember I said, like, a person who had a perfect life can never relate to somebody who's not.
True.
But when you struggle, when you go through things, you are able to empathize because you've been through that yourself. And I was just thinking yesterday, man, like my business is slow in terms of growth, And I tried various things and now I'm streamlining myself in this. But I think, like, if you ask me if I would ever change anything, I don't think I would. I'm happy that I made these mistakes. I'm happy that I learned the tough way, the hard way. And I think I'm still going to make mistakes no matter what.
True. Yes.
And it's just the learning, So the hurdles that I faced have been great for me. And I think I'm grateful for it. I like this saying, Okay, I want to ask you a question now. If you are on a cycle and the brakes of your cycle did not work, how fast would you go?
I wouldn't go fast.
Why?
Because there's no brake.
Exactly, right? When you don't have brakes on your vehicle, you're gonna go you're gonna crawl.
True.
But if you have strong brakes, you can go full speed and you have the confidence to stop. And hurdles in life are like that. They're like the brakes in your life that keep you in control.
Oh.
Oh, the second O hitter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying this process, and I love what's happening, and I'm grateful for what's happening. Yep. Now she'll have to go to her paper and see what is the next question, and then read it out.
No, now is the Tandoor Round.
Oh, what? Wait, hello.
Yeah. That sponsor thing.
So now is the sponsor.
That we are recording
You missed
later.
the sponsor. Okay. Now we're going for a short break to the sponsor. As children, we all look forward to seeing our parents in the audience when we are on the stage dancing or performing or whatever else. But you know what? Time changes. And today we are adults. We have the opportunity now to cheer for our parents. You got that right. Imagine you could make your parent a Guinness World Record holder and cheer them from the audience. Would you like to do that? Well, Sevarat is giving senior citizens the opportunity to become a Guinness World Record holder. You got that right. A Guinness World Record holder. All you need to be is 60 years and above. All right? Come to Goa on the 21st of August. There's a dance that you need to perform with other senior citizens. We are trying to get 3,000 senior citizens involved. All right? And as a child, you could get your parents, your grandparents, or if you are a person above the age of 60, you could become a Guinness World Record holder. We are attempting the Guinness World Record for the largest number of senior citizens dancing together. Remember, this is not a performance. It is a thing that you can do with other people. It's going to be fun. You get an opportunity to become a Guinness World Record holder. Guys, this is a huge opportunity. And we bring you this event brought to you by Sevarat. It is a senior care provider. They provide caretakers and nurses for senior citizens. This event is happening in Goa. So even if you are not in Goa, we have a travel desk that you can contact from wherever in the country or the world you are in. All you need to do is provide proof of age and you can become a part of this event. What do you get as a Guinness World Record holder? Well, you get your name in the Guinness World Records. You get a medallion saying that you are a Guinness World Record holder. Imagine this now. You're a child of a senior parent and you are sitting in the audience, clapping for them, cheering them as they dance towards becoming a Guinness World Record holder. Dancing is great for their health. And come on, let's do this for our parents. Let's make our parents a Guinness World Record holder. This event is happening on the 21st of August 2022. And this message is sponsored by Winfluence Media. For more information, follow Sevarat on Instagram @Sevarat India. There is a registration page you need to fill there. Follow them there. join the program simply by registering, and the team from Sevarat, India will get in touch with you. So now it's time for the Tandoor Round, where she asked me questions. I don't know, what did I write there? Okay, we're still getting this part right, okay?
You don't have to record all this.
Okay, I don't have to record this.
So now it's time for Tandoor Round. This is a rapid fire round where the questions keep getting hotter. So the first question, what's your favorite dish?
What's my favorite dish? So I love beef. I feel it's one of the most tasty meats.
That's true.
It is, right? But recently I tried shark liver. Oh, it's so good. It's so sinfully good. It's fatty and it's tasty, and we can't eat a lot of it. But I don't have a favorite dish. I'm not too picky, but I love meat, and yeah.
Okay. Next, preferred musical genre or type of music you listen to?
So when I was growing up, like, I listened to a lot of Coldplay and rap, Eminem. But now I prefer to listen to gospel, because in gospel there's so much meaning and there's so much building up, you know.
Yes,
Like
true.
like Punita's ringtone is, what's that ringtone?
Isn't it lovely?
Isn't it lovely to be alone? Punita, if you don't change your ringtone, you're always going to be alone.
I'm not alone. I just like the video song.
So anyway, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that in secular music today, there's so much negativity. There's so much like they promote a lot of bad things, you know.
True.
So I don't listen to a lot of it. I like to listen to jazz in the evenings, but I love Christian music because there's so much power. So much
True.
power. Yep.
Yeah. Which business book would you recommend to people?
So the book that opened up my eyes to all the possibilities, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I've heard so much about it.
You have to read it. It's brilliant. I think it'll just open your eyes, you know, and that's what it did for me. Maybe that is the book that gave me the courage to not be an employee anymore after my oil field job. I think that one. My wife right now, Eustacia, is reading this book called The Richest Man in Babylon. She really loves that. I'm happy how much she loves that. In fact, last night she was reading it to me and I fell asleep.
Oh.
She's so fascinated by it. So that's really cool. Yeah, so that's a great business book.
Okay, next question. Which self-development book would you recommend to people?
Well, I think Think and Grow Rich is a great book. Think and Grow Rich. I haven't even read the full book, but I read maybe 3/4 of it. That's a great book. But I believe, you know, one of the best books in the entire world, it's a bestseller, is the Bible.
Yes.
The best. And especially for self-development. I mean, you could read everything, but read Proverbs, the chapter. It's amazing. Like the practical wisdom in it. It's a brilliant book. Amazing. So I would say those two books. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Who are the type of people you like to be around?
I like to be around people who are energetic, who are visionary, who are excited for life, who want to do something and achieve something great.
They don't bring you down, but push you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
spend a lot of time with those kind of people, like Pastor Matthew, for example.
A great example.
He's amazing.
Yes,
You know, I
yes.
like to spend time with such people. Yeah.
True. Name a time you were hurt by what someone else said. Oh, getting personal.
Yeah. So it's a Tandoor Round, right? It's getting hotter and hotter. Woo! So recently, my wife and I went and met this person who was advising us on how to work together and stuff like that. Really amazing, smart, brilliant person. And then that person told my pastor, and my pastor told my wife, Ryan is a child in a man's body. He's so childish. And initially I wasn't fazed by it, but then later I felt quite bad. Like, that's not something nice, to hear about yourself. I was quite upset about it. And but then I was listening to this podcast where Seema Batavia was interviewing Chris Do. Chris Do is like this really cool guy, and I follow him as well. And he said, you gotta own it. Whatever you are, own it. He's like, I'm an introvert. And I was so happy that he was an introvert, because I'm an introvert. I struggle meeting people sometimes. And I'm coming out of that. But he's an introvert, but I would never ever say he's an introvert. And he said something that was so precise for me. He's like, my wife thinks I'm a child. I'm a child in a 49-year-old man's body.
Oh.
And I tell her, baby, you married me. You got to be happy with what you got. And I own it. He said, I love to be excited. I love to be, enthusiastic about something. And if people think that's childish, so be it. But I've watched him for like years, or maybe 1-2 years. I would never ever call him childish. And I don't know about y'all, but I am excited, right? I am dynamic, right? When I'm serious, I'm serious. When I have to be a boss and mean to y'all, I have to be like that. When I'm happy, I'm happy. I'm genuine. I don't care if you're going to call me a child. I'm going to own it. I was upset about that. Honestly, I was. But then I said, man, I'm going to own it. This is me. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. If I have to be serious, I got to be serious. If you come against me, I'm going to kill you. No, I won't kill. But, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like if someone insults me or disrespects me, I know how to respond to it. I'm not going to behave like a child then. I can be dangerous if I want to be dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, the power's gone off, but we have inverters, so we have some time. So, yeah, I would give I would say that's my answer.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Own it.
Own it, yeah.
Yes. Who are the type of people you don't like to be around?
I despise being around people who are fake. Who seem some way around you and behind your back they go and...
I hate them too.
You be real, man. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Just that's fine. I can't make you like me. But I don't want you to be nice to me and put up an image. And that's the problem with people who are too controlled. Some people are not even fake, they're just way too controlled. Like they're way too controlled in how they appear, how they laugh, and after a while, such people you don't trust anymore.
Yeah.
You can't trust them. You're like, man, who are you? Why are you being so controlled? Just let go sometimes, One of the greatest ways of connecting with somebody is being vulnerable around them. If you're never vulnerable, if you're never weak, if you're never like insecure, if you're always saying, oh, I'm great, I'm so polished, I'm so this, you're not gonna make friends, man. People are just gonna keep you at a distance saying, oh, this is a nice guy, smart guy. And but yeah, people who are fake just ticks me off.
Right. That's true. Next question. What is something people don't like about you?
I think there are many things people don't like. No, I don't know. I know one thing that people don't like. I think my voice gets a little too rough. I need to become more polished in the way I speak. Okay. Sometimes the way I speak is too rough. Like even that day, there was one client over. And I meant to say something, but it came out the wrong way, Like in the way I spoke, it came out the wrong way.
Oh.
And it kind of like startled him, like, oh, it's like, shit, what did Ryan say? But then I realized, oh shit, I said something in a wrong way. So, and also sometimes some people think I'm overconfident. Yeah. Like, I remember this happening in Halliburton. See, I grew up extremely shy. Okay, I grew up extremely shy, very quiet, like very fearful, you know. And one way I broke out of that is by learning to speak louder.
Okay.
I think sometimes because I'm trying to overcompensate for my fear and for my shyness, I speak a little louder than I should. You know?
That's how you want to deal with it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's too loud. So I think I may come across as too aggressive to some people. I think so, at least. But in the comments, please write why you don't like me. I'd be happy to know.
Let's see. Let's find out.
Yeah. But we need to make that, you know, there's this anonymous message thing.
Oh, right.
We need to do that. Like, tell me, why don't you like me?
Instagram has that.
Yeah, yeah. So I need to figure that out.
Right. So we are done with Tandoor Round, Ryan.
Yeah.
You answered very well.
Thank you.
So question round 2. Those were great answers you gave us. We'll get back to the interview.
Yep.
Yes?
Thank you. By the way, this is some magic tea, okay? Magic. I'm not going to tell you which brand it is because they haven't paid me.
Okay. I hope you don't put all this of
Don't
me
worry,
at
Punita.
least.
I'll clean it up so well, no?
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking that as a sarcastic answer.
Yeah, I'm very sarcastic.
Ryan,
You're right. Absolutely right.
you are not putting all this.
Okay, Punita.
Okay. So our next question is, considering the pandemic, how did it alter your business, life and outlook?
So, I loved the pandemic.
No, wait, I did not complete the question.
Oh, okay.
Considering the pandemic, how did it alter your business, life and outlook? Like, did you have to pivot or move in a new direction?
So, I absolutely loved the pandemic. Kian was born right before the pandemic. He was born on the 28th of Feb. And then I think March 3rd or something. There was
23rd something.
something like that. It was like full lockdown.
Yes.
So I loved it. I started gardening. I started, you know, buying soil and pots and grew a lot of dudi, like these bottle gourds. Like my children would hold these bottle gourds, which are like nearly as big as them. I enjoyed going on the streets and seeing no one on the streets. You know, it's beautiful. Like you see that in pictures, you never see that in real life. I saw it in real life. It was awesome. I loved it. No business was happening, but God is so good. Like during that time, my retainer client was still there. So I had some income at least, you know.
Okay.
So I'm really happy I'm not like fully into weddings. So I had some regular work going on, so I had to still, you know, edit and stuff like that. So that was going on, and then I always liked to teach, you know. So I said, why don't I start something in that field? We did some 3-4 workshops. I think Abhishek was on one of them. So it was an amazing, like I did it in my kids' room, okay. So
I think I attended one.
yeah, you attend. Were you online or did you come?
No, online.
So it was really nice.
Yes.
We had like, I was sitting with like a student. Excuse me. Yeah, were you there on all 3?
No, I was not there on the one.
On one, yeah.
Tanai and
Yeah. So it was a 3-camera setup, right? So I'd be teaching how anyone can shoot in manual mode on a DSLR. That is what I was teaching, and I enjoyed doing it. So it was a 2-hour workshop. Okay, 3-cam setup. 1 camera to the face, 1 camera to the hands, showing the camera that's in my hands, and the 3rd camera is this camera. So the output of this camera. So if it's like underexposed, then the viewers would see it.
Yes, I
And
remember.
and out of focus.
Yes,
You remember, right?
Yes.
How was the experience?
For me, I had gotten into that field, you know, that time, and I wanted to learn more about camera.
Right.
And I attended it, and I was so fascinated to know so many things. I was
Yeah.
just going with the flow. Like, I would do whatever I had to do that moment.
Yeah.
But I learned it in depth.
Mm.
So, yeah, it helped me in future face cough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine just in 2 hours,
yes.
we were able to teach that.
Yeah.
So I've developed a workflow called face coughs. Okay. And using this workflow, it's invented by me. Okay. But using this workflow, anyone, no matter whether they've touched a DSLR or not, can learn how to expose in manual mode. In fact, I wanna start it again. Maybe we should. I mean, we have the office, and I built this office purposefully for it. So I'm going to make another video of the features of this office as a studio, as a video production studio.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we should start that again. We
Record.
have all the equipment.
Yeah.
I need another GH5 though, but I'll figure that out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. What was your question? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so I pivoted in terms of, starting Earn From TV. It's called earnfrom.tv. You can follow us on Instagram. And however, I didn't go too far with it. After those 3 workshops and about 30 students, I should have continued, but I kind of got busy with other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of that, I built this studio
Yeah.
purposefully for that.
Yes.
And today, even though we're not really using it for Earn From TV, which I believe we should, God willing, we're doing it for other things, for client work. And
Yes. Yes.
it's a really nice, cozy place. And I enjoy it, yeah.
Okay, next question, Ryan. Keys to getting more business.
So as I said, the more people know you, the more people feel, the more people like you, know you and trust you, the more business you get.
Mm-hmm.
So the key is just being out there in the public. This video, for example, is going to be in the public.
True. Yeah.
I'm very public with my WhatsApp status and stuff like that. I want people to know me. I want them to feel like I'm approachable.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe all businesses should do that. They should not just sell, try to sell their things, but who are they, right?
You're right.
I mean, all small businesses are founder driven, meaning it's the boss over there which determines how the business runs.
Right.
If the boss is a unscrupulous person who is greedy, that's how the business will run. But if the boss has good values, who has good character, who has honesty, that's how the business will run. So unless you know who that person is you are dealing with, why would you just simply be there?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know who you're working with. So I think that's a great way to increase business. Just letting the people know who you are, being real.
You're right.
Like I'm sure I made some silly comments in this video, but that's fine. That's who I am.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Like all these mistakes you made also I'm going to put. So, but
You're not putting
that's
Ryan.
that's who you are.
You're not putting
Abhishek's
Ryan.
laughing.
You're not putting those.
So how I said that these videos got to be real. They got to be unscripted and with the mistakes. Because think about it. This video is going to be like what, 1.5 hour long or something. Now imagine you're watching a video where 30 seconds is all gyan or it's all like yapping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How long can you take that for? But if there's a goof up or if there's some mistake or something funny, then you feel like watching it, right?
Let's put your goof up.
For sure. My goof ups are always there.
I'm perfect, maybe.
You are perfect. Yeah.
So I made no goof up in my in the video.
No goof up whatsoever.
Yeah. So next question is, what are your future plans or new business opportunities you see?
That's a good question. Future plans. I don't know. I think I want to work more on this, working with businesses, creating content for them. More founder-driven content as well as, business content. I'm glad I'm in this field. I love this field. I enjoy video production. There are a lot of things that I'd love to do. I'd love to get into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of money, I feel, but maybe not. I mean, maybe you guys have some ideas. But I'd love to get back into maybe something like Airbnb or something. Let's see, God willing.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to get Inform TV off the ground. So, and publish this face cough course.
Mm-hmm.
I think face cough is so powerful. Everyone needs to know about it.
Yes.
We need to patent it.
I need to patent it.
Yeah.
If you guys know how I can patent it, let me know. Face coughs. That's the system. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any passion projects you are working on? Something you are doing on the side?
So, I think there are two. One is, the documentary we released, Unnecessarian. It's about unnecessary C-sections.
Mm-hmm.
So, many people were asking what happened after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd love to release a part 2. I got a lot of footage already,
Oh.
but I either need a funding or I need to shoot more for sure. I think that's a great documentary that I could work on. But the second thing which I would like to get off the ground is Divine Life Partner.
Mm-hmm.
So you are actually following Divine Life
Yes,
Partner.
I like the content. And
Yeah?
I didn't know it was yours, so I followed. Then then I came to know it's yours.
Oh, so I'm quite happy about that. So Divine Life Partners is a book about, it's a book actually. It's a book about how I believe that, how can I say this? How I believe that God directs you to the right marriage partner. So Eustacia and I, in fact, we have also conducted some marriage courses.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something I'd love to get out. I haven't been able to complete the book. I find it very intimidating. But yeah, I think that is something we should come out with because more people need to know about it.
I'm waiting for them both then.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it out soon.
Well, maybe you can help me.
Yeah, sure, for sure. So if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
So we are available on Instagram mostly, right? So Winfluence_media is our official page. But if you'd love to follow me, it's the Ryan Lobo, THERYANLOBO on Instagram. So I'd love to be in touch with you. And if you have my WhatsApp number, I think that's the best. Should I share that?
Instagram, they will find it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I post a lot on my WhatsApp status, way more often than on Instagram, because it's just so easy, just forward to your status,
I
finish.
know.
But on
Right.
Instagram, you have to do this and that, and yeah, I don't have time for that.
You'll
Yep.
get there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So before we close, do you have any message for our audience?
I think I gave too many messages today. My only message would be dare to take risks. The reason we are starting this podcast, which I forgot to write over there, the reason or the idea behind Creative Genesis is, right, there's so many amazing creators out there. Now, I was thinking to start this podcast just with photographers, videographers, because that's who we assume as creators, right? Graphic artists and stuff like that. But even business people are creators.
Yeah.
They are creating services, products, they're generating revenue, they're creating jobs, right? So the purpose of this podcast is getting them here to ask them, how did you begin your journey? I shared my journey with you. The purpose of this podcast is to just inspire you to maybe try something different, to face your fears. By the way, Punita, congratulations. Punita, I told her, we need a co-host for this podcast, and I'd like you to do it. And she said, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I've never been in front of camera and stuff.
know.
But she's here today because she faced her fear, and that's awesome. You faced your fear. So the purpose of this podcast is to just go out there and let you know that take a risk, take a challenge. You will not succeed immediately, but look at all these guys sitting here. All of them have tried something they were afraid of. They all started somewhere. creative genesis. Genesis means the beginning. How did you start? That's what all this is about. So I hope that this podcast series, it's going to be a series, inspires you. Do follow us. It's going to be on Spotify, Anchor, Spotify and all the other podcasting things, plus on YouTube. And the reels of this are going to be on like our Instagram. So I hope you like it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching us. That's it.
That's it. Good job, Punita.
Well, that was a pilot episode. What did you think about it? We would love to know your feedback in the comment section below. Subscribe to this channel and follow us on all platforms where podcasts are found. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.